going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Flying Brian's Garage. In today, or tonight's episode, because it is dark, first off, I'm going to go ahead and say, y'all saw this in the last video, we're going to be working on this again. I think I mentioned in the last video we had a couple things to address. It needed a new carburetor. It needed a steering gear, because this one's shot. So I had spoke with the customer, told him that it runs, rides, and mows, but we have a little bit of a tight belt. We have a first gen steering gear that is screwed up, and we have a carburetor that is leaky. So I've been trying to sell this on Marketplace for quite a while now, and I just kept getting stupid offers, and I got sick of it. So Mike said he wanted a transaxle. He's going to come get it tomorrow. I've already parted out everything else. The engine's sitting there. Everything is here. So my plan is I'm going to go ahead and start pulling the steering gear out of this, because we're going to take this steering gear. It's a second gen steering fan instead of a steering box. We're going to take this and modify it to go into there. So it'll be a custom gearbox swap from a Gen 1 to a Gen 2. We have a belt that came off of this. That's the stock belt we have here. Also, we had the steering arm fall off when we were mowing in the last video. We have one here from that machine. We also have a brand new carburetor from that machine. All the steering parts we're about to take off, and then we'll have all the parts for our machine outside to get it going. And then what we're probably going to do with this is Mike's going to get the transaxle. The rest of the parts will probably end up going to the there was a square body CRAFTSMAN that I revived not too long ago, and it was gotten specifically for a parts machine. So I got it running, I got it riding. We finished out the video, and then after the video I parted it out, and we put a bunch of parts in different areas that needed them. But it's sitting back there, and I've been wanting to put it back together. So more than likely what we will do with this frame here, this purple frame, is we will take it and take all the parts we can and put together that first gen square body CRAFTSMAN back there and do something with it. And it needs paint, so it may end up becoming a Buford T. Justice Sheriff mower. I don't know. It's an idea. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get the part in this thing out here. That way we'll have our parts for tomorrow, and we can start working on the quality what is it, Farming Country? Yeah, Quality Farming Country. Start getting that completely situated so we can get it back to the customer and get paid. Let's get into it. Alright folks, we're having an issue. We cannot get this shaft up, so I'm probably going to end up cutting it and re-welding it later. That's the perks of having a welder. So unfortunately that's a no-go for now, but like I said, we're about to just chop it, and then we'll go ahead and pull the steering apparatus out. We'll be done for the night. Come back out here tomorrow and start actually installing parts and doing the good stuff. Here we got the steering box out. If you'll see right here, see how it's all the way down and the steering is a little bit engaged? I can actually pull it up some. You see there's room for a couple of washers there, and it engages the gears better. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop this apart real quick and put some spacers in there to bring it up some. So first what we need to do is pop this clip there. We need to weasel that out, and then actually what I probably will do is pop this out. Get a rag, clean this guy up. We'll also get in here. We'll get our existing washer, and we'll get our little clip there. Let's get some grease. Area really good. Then we're gonna add a little gear here. We want this to last. Can last this man, the better. So now, with all that clean, line up our box. Stick our rod in. Get that lined up in the gearbox. We'll drop our one washer on. Get our grease out of the way. We'll go find us a couple other washers and add a couple. Now, as we see, it has one more washer in there. It doesn't have as much play, and it engages better with the teeth. Everything's lubed. We got us a gearbox, guys. So there's all of our parts. We've got all of our steering here. And then we got steering box, carburetor, belt. So I'll be back out here again tomorrow where we will continue on with this project and hopefully maybe get it going by tomorrow. All this on there and call them and tell them it's done. Alright folks, it's 2 days later. I had a very, very bad migraine yesterday, so yeah, didn't do anything. And today I'm feeling a lot better, so back out here on it. The other day, where we left off, we had removed this steering box. We added a washer here to bring it up, to bring the gears more into the fan. Then we also went ahead and greased inside of the bushing here. We also greased our gear. We had to cut this. I really didn't want to, but I'll just weld it back. No biggie. I mean, dealt with worse. We also got our carburetor, steering gear, the belt, and a new to the machine steering arm. So we got this thing completely parted out, except for the transaxle. That's Mike's, and he will be coming to get that because I'm not messing with it. Got too much to do. I'll let him do a little bit of his own work. So he's going to come get this, take his transaxle out, and then the rest of this is coming back to me for just parts. So we're going to get this up in the shop today. We need to remove the deck before we take it inside, just to make it a little easier. Is this? Don't tell me that's oil. Where would it be coming from? That dipstick seal? Is a dipstick seal bad? I hope that's what it is. Dadgum, why does this thing keep giving me problems? Just so y'all know, this isn't always cut and dry, easy work. A lot of YouTube channels make things look so easy that they just throw it together and cars back on the road in 3 days and they're driving at 800 miles and blah blah blah. Well, yeah, it can be easy, but a lot of times a lot of stuff goes into it that they don't show on camera, and I want to show that on camera. That way y'all see that, you know, not everything works as people make it look like it works. You know, YouTube makes it look easy, makes it look like everybody can just go out there and revive something real quick, but it's not for everybody. Some people have the skill, some don't. You can learn the skill, of course, if you don't have it. You just got to have the right person teaching you, because nowadays it seems like everybody thinks they know what they're doing, and they don't. And I'm not going to sit here and say I know everything, because I don't. I'm still learning a couple things as I go. Heck, I'm only 32 years old, you know. And I've only been working on them since I was like maybe 7, 8 years old, so I don't have a lot of experience. I mean, I do, but I don't. You know, it's just how it is. We learn as we go. But so far what we're having problems with this thing is the belt for the drivetrain, like the engine to the transaxle belt. It's fine, but it's just too short. So what it's doing essentially is when I push the clutch all the way in, it's not technically disengaging the belt. I can still feel it grab, and I can have the clutch pushed all the way in and put it in a gear and it'll start to move. So therefore it tells me that belt is too big, or too small, I should say. So we have a belt that will fit this. We have an oil leak now that we got to address. It's probably this dipstick seal, because it's the only thing I can see leaking. So what we will do is probably take one out of another engine that I have and put it in here. One I know that's actually sealing up. Ooh, that's scary. Do I have one? That's the biggest question. Do I even have one that size? Huh. We also have a carburetor leak. The bowl is leaking here. And as you see, this engine does not have the fuel shutoff solenoid. It didn't come with it. So what we're going to do is we're going to put that other carburetor on, and we're going to nip the solenoid off so it technically just doesn't have it. It'll work. This is a Briggs Walbro carb, and the carb I will be putting in place of it is a like a Nicky knockoff, and it is not one from Hypa. It's actually from another company as far as I know. But we'll be putting that in place. It still has the same throttle blades in the same position, same bolt up pattern. This is, you know, basically the same carburetor. So we'll be using that. And we also have a steering gear to put in. Oh, we are going to have to make some serious modifications to this, because without doing so, that steering gear is not going to fit. So, okay, I see. I can take that bolt out and use the steering bolt for the, yeah. Okay, this is going to take a little bit of modifications. What I'll probably end up having to do, actually before Mike gets here, let's go ahead and get a template. Let's get a template cut out of this here. That way I know exactly what I need to cut on that there. So as you see, since we're not using this frame, I decided it would be best to just spray it and lay down a piece of paper. I used my most vibrant color that I had, laid down a sheet of paper, and I got a perfect template of that. So what we're going to do is we're going to let that dry, and we'll go ahead and start pulling off the deck off this now and trying to get it in the shop, all that good stuff. We'll wait for our template to dry, and once our template is dry, we'll be able to go ahead and lay it down. So what we need to do is we need to get this inside after taking the deck off. I'm going to have to pop off the dash and all of that stuff. So pretty much the dash is coming, the gas tank's coming. I got to take all the steering stuff. Then we got to get down and we got to take out the steering box, take out the steering arm. It's going to be extensive little bit of work. So let's get into it and get this done, because I really need the money from this machine. Alright, we got the deck off of it. Let's get it in the shop. Start addressing the issues with this machine. Alright, we got it in here. Let's go ahead and get to work. First things first is steering. So let's start tearing apart our dash and all that good stuff, and yeah, hopefully we can get this sorted fairly quickly. Alright, well, we got our dash pulled apart. Still got the steering gearbox in there. So what we've done is we've disconnected the steering from the ball. Still got to take the ball out of the spindle there. We're going to pop our steering arm off of the bottom of this, so when we unbolt this, we can just pull it straight up out of the tractor. Alright, we got the box out. We got everything exposed. Got that plate clean. Here is our crappy first gen box. Crappy first gen steering. Steering rod here. Then we've got our second gen and second gen. So, these are our new parts. We're going to go ahead and start looking at templates and everything, trying to get this thing marked, cut, and all that stuff. Because the more I can do, the better. So, let's get into it and see if we can't get a steering box in there tonight. Alright, we've got our template laid in place. So, one of these holes is fine. The other one, we need to remove that, because that's going to end up bolting up to So this down here actually right now is like a belt catch or something down there. Oh yeah, it's right there. So we'll take that out and it'll end up bolting into the bottom of this. So that's the plan. Alright, we've got our template set in. I don't have anything to cut round holes with, so we're going to just do square. So what I did was I scribed both circles out, because those are our templates. See, I just cut it. So that'll be our template. We've got one hole to drill right here, and then this bolt will stay, this one will come out. I just have these sitting in here to keep the template in place. Like I said, that bolt will stay, that'll come out. These two will get cut out. That hole's going to get drilled out. And then we will be ready to install our new gearbox. And yeah, put steering together and be done with it. So I'm looking forward to that. Let's get it done. Alright, we have our stuff cut out. All we have to do is remove this bolt here, and then that should drop right in and bolt right up. Alright folks, it's in. Our second gen steering box fit in there perfectly. Oh, that went dead. But there's our second gen steering fan box. And what I'm going to do, instead of welding that piece back on, I'm actually going to use this old collar that slid over, and we're going to just drill this a hole and put the bolt back in it. So let's do that. Get the steering column completely reassembled again. So what we can do is focus on the rest of this thing, as in the belt and the carburetor, and then putting the deck back on it, testing it out once again. Let's hit our key real quick, make sure everything's still working. It is. I will need to put put some gas back in it. We'll do that in just a second. But I'm going to go inside and take a short break, come back out here, finish the steering column, and then we'll probably go ahead and slam a belt on it and the carburetor tonight. That's the steering. It's perfect. I'll never have another problem out of it. Nice. I am happy with that. The only thing I'm not happy with is the steering. It's not straight. Now that we got it centered up, got the wheels centered. Let's pop this cap off and see if I can center the wheel. That is something I would love to do. Oh yeah. Much better. Wheels centered. Wheels are centered. Steering column is tight. And it's not going anywhere. I'd say we did a damn good job on the steering there. So before we go ahead and fill it up with fuel and all that stuff, let's roll this thing down, get the ramps out from under it. Get the hoist down, stand this thing up, and get under there and do the belt. Get it done. And then we can throw our carburetor on it, and this rig will be ready. Ready to ride and mow. Alright folks, we're under here. This is where our second gen steering came out, right here. That's where our first gen used to bolt up. There's our two fresh holes for the second gen to go through. Everything turned out absolutely perfect with the second gen steering swap. It steers really good. It worked out perfect. I'm really happy with how it turned out. So with that being said, we've got a belt to put in here, so we're going to go ahead and start getting to that. I think the easiest way will probably be, oh shit, now I might have should have swapped the belt before we did the pulleys and everything, but you know what, is what it is, and we can't do anything about it now. So I've got one more bolt added to the steering system. I'm going to add it in just a second, and then we're going to go ahead and get to belt and get that done. But the steering, I'd say it turned out pretty damn good for a first gen to second gen swap. Alright, we got a new belt in there. Came off of the purple mower. As y'all see, it's in really good shape. Not dry rotted or anything. It's a fairly new belt. We got a lot of good throw on our clutch now. Now it is disengaging the like it should. What I'm going to try to do while I'm under here is I would like to see, that's leaking fuel from the carburetor, I'd like to see if I can't tighten up his brakes down there, get them biting a little better, and then we can continue on, put this down and put the carburetor on it, because our belt system now should be good to go. Alright, we have this thing sitting on half on the lift, half on the ground. I guess we need to go ahead and tighten up our choke. Well, actually we're about to do the carburetor, so I don't know why I said that. Let's start doing the carburetor and getting it replaced. That way, besides putting the deck on, we will be complete with this project. Hopefully. Well, no, we still got to do the oil dipstick thing over there. That's, yeah, leaking. Hopefully we can get to that tonight too. We'll see. Alright, now that we got our new carburetor here, what we want to do is we want to pop the solenoid out. And what we're going to do at this point, this engine never came with this, we're going to lop this off right there. So let's grab our snips, bite it as close as we can, cut it off, thread it back in the bolt. Tight. Let's go over here and install it. Alright, we got the carburetor on it, everything's plumbed up with the fuel system. So really the last thing we need to do to this is it's going to need that oil dipstick seal. So we're going to see if we can't locate us one of them and seal that area up. If not, I may just actually I may just take it off and clean it and do some silicone. Let's just do that. Alright, we sealed right there at our oil dipstick with a little bit of silicone, pressed it down real tight, tightened up our screw there. We're going to let that cure for a few minutes. I'm going to go ahead and put some fuel in the tank, and then we should be able to drop it down, go outside and put the deck on it, and then tomorrow we can come out here and I've got some stuff to mow in the front. We may test it out some more and see how good it does. Hopefully it's a lot better than the last video, because we have done an extensive bit of work. Steering should be great. We shouldn't have any more leaks anywhere, and the belt should be distanced enough to where when we hit the clutch it shifts, and hit the brakes work, and everything should work. So that's going to be the big plus. So let's go ahead and let that cure, and then we'll drop it down, put some gas in it too real quick. Alright, hopefully no fuel leaks. Put a decent bit in there, but I can make sure there is in fact no leaks. Well, so far I don't see any leaks. Let's wipe off our engine cover and our air breather cover. I'm going to pop off our air breather and our filter again, just to make sure that make sure everything's fueling properly, I think. Why do we have no fuel? Now we have fuel. Second to fill up the bowl. Hopefully that's the end of our leaks. I don't know how cured up that is yet, but I really want to fire this thing up and see how it's going to run with the new carburetor. Still not seeing any leaks from our new carburetor. Everything's looking good. So I think what we're going to do is go ahead and put y'all back on the stand and see if this thing will fire up. Push our clutch in. Give it a go. good. Let's see if it'll start without choke now. Runs really, really good. I didn't realize it's 12. So I actually may go ahead and go inside. Come back at this tomorrow. Finish putting the deck on and get the rest of this thing done. But I'd say overall tonight, or today's work was successful. We got steering in it. First gen to second gen swap. Everything is back together and it looks stock. You can't even tell that I put a different steering in this thing. And that's the best part about it. So, the guy should really like what I did. At least I hope he does. I think it turned out pretty good. So this thing has had, it's been totally redone. I mean, it's engine swapped, steering swapped, transaxle had to be kind of rebuilt, and yeah, I'd say it's doing pretty good though. It turned out nice. So I will see you guys back out here again tomorrow, where we will continue on with finishing this project up so we can get it on to the customer. And I hope tomorrow will be the last day on this project, because I've got a couple more of his back there that I need to get started on. So with that being said, I will see you guys back out here again tomorrow. We'll finish this thing up. Alright folks, it is the next day. We're back out here, and I do believe this is probably going to be one of the quickest videos we put out in quite a while. Usually videos around here take 5, 6, 7 days, sometimes a little longer. This one, it's only been a few days. So we finished this up last night. We went ahead and put Gen 2 steering instead of a Gen 1. So we did Gen 2 swap on the steering. Steering is great. It got a new steering arm. It got a new belt. It got a new carburetor. It got a seal in the oil dipstick tube. It got a bunch of stuff. So today what we're going to do is we're going to go outside, grab the hood, put it back on. We're going to get it outside. We're going to install our deck back on it. And then we're going to take it out front and finish mowing the front yard with it. And see if it's an improvement from last video when we were mowing with this. So I'm hoping it is. And yeah, stay tuned. Let's get this thing completely assembled, get it out in the yard, and get the yard cut. It's fired up great. It has brakes now. It shifts a lot better. It doesn't have to, I don't have to rock it back and forth to try to shift it. Yeah, it's just much better. So what we're about to do is throw our deck back on and get it out in the yard, get it mowing. Alright, the deck is back on, but I need to do a little bit of adjustments to get this deck level. So, Let's get that done real quick. And then we can take this out and mow with it some. Alright folks, we got this man's deck back on. It is leveled out. We're ready to mow. This is the patch we have left to mow. So I'm going to go ahead and set y'all up and we're going to get to cutting. Oh, unit cuts real nice. I just cut all that with no problems. I'm guessing it's fixed, because that yard looks good. Deck evened out. It even cut the grass. I mean, that looks nice. Alright, I'd say we did a pretty good job on this one. I'm glad we were able to get it situated. Really good mower. Just needed some love, but we got it fixed. Runs, rides, cuts excellent. Starts and shuts off with the key. Shifter, everything works. Belt's the right size. Tires hold air. Brakes work. Everything on this unit works. Even the headlights work. So I'd say it was a successful video, successful little revival. I know usually I'm able to revive them in one video, but this one was two. Excuse me, let me get my lens off real quick. Get y'all cleaned up. There we go. But I'd say we did good on this one. I'm very, very happy with the outcome. I'm going to go ahead and call the customer, tell him his mower is ready, and tell him he can either come pick it up or I will deliver it to him since he lives right down the road. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please go down there and leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe if you haven't done so yet. Hit that all notification bell, that way you're notified every time we put out a new video, which is once a week, sometimes twice if I'm doing good. So with all that being said, check out the Facebook, Instagram, and the TikTok. We're not really using the Snapchat anymore. And come check us out at on Facebook, Flying Brian's Garage, Mud and Race Mowers. Share your builds, share your ideas, and yeah. If y'all are in the Flying Brian's Garage mood, y'all can go to the channel and click on playlist. There's a bunch there. And like I said, y'all follow the other social media to stay tuned on shop updates, which is usually daily, so you'll kind of know what's coming out before it comes out. So I will see you guys on the next episode, or I don't know what we'll be doing, but it should be good, and I hope y'all enjoy it. See you guys then.